Hello, everybody. I am Dane Fredrickson, a video expert, and I'm here today with Heather Gerdes, who is from ProMode. And we just met recently and wanted to kind of have a conversation with you about using video first as a part of a content marketing strategy. And Heather has ProMode, which is her own system for managing content. Heather, why don't you just introduce yourself? Tell us just a little bit about ProMode so we can get some context here.
Sure, yeah. We launched ProMode about a year ago, a business partner and myself with a small team of developers, and it is amazing. It's an AI marketing and communications platform that companies can use to safely use AI, maintain accuracy, and put out a ton of content to their audiences.
So thank you, Heather. So like part of the conversation that we've been having is AI is obviously having a bit of a moment right now, as is video. And I have been talking for a while about how they kind of are two sides to the same coin in a way of like content. There's like the automation, the generative properties of AI, and like we've all been wowed by that. And I think we've also been a little bit disappointed at times and cautioned about mistakes, the disinformation kind of aspect of how that can go if used improperly. And I've been advocating for like the opposite of that is like video, like what we're doing here now. This is authentic, this is human, this is like trust building activities. So like we have been talking about how do you merge those two together, the efficiencies and the necessity to be using AI, otherwise we're going to fall behind, and then not to like poison our content or mislead people. Like we've got to find smart ways of marrying those together. And that's why both of us like lightning bolts are going off for us is like, this is a really good use case now. Let's look at how we could use something like pro mode and video to kind of win at the content game. So I've been
Yeah,
talking for a minute here. So like, what are your thoughts about how we're going to do this together on this
yeah.
exploratory mission?
Yeah, well, I think the best way to talk about it is just to show you how. I mean, uh, personally, I use ProMode in a primarily video first context for our own brand. Many of our clients do as well. Some of them are more copy heavy and maybe not as heavy in video, but I think the video first content pipeline, as you kind of injected that phrase into my head recently, is like a really good way to describe exactly what we do for our own marketing. Um, and you can see the efficiencies as we're going through, like the time savings, because I think, you know, video works. It's an amazing, powerful tool for marketing, and it has been for forever. Like that's nothing new. But what is new is the ability to do it at scale with a streamlined workflow. Because if you've ever tried to do video, implement video at a high level in your strategy, you know the bottlenecks that are there, the operational drag, like everything from editing and distributing in weaving it into content on social platforms and web pages. Like it's a pretty major lift on the ops side, in addition to the creative aspect of the video project itself. So what we've done is greatly streamline and build in efficiencies for all of that kind of non-creative part, so that folks like you can really focus on what you are really, really good at, which is that creativity, the strategy piece, and then let AI machine learning do the rest.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited. Let's just dive right in now and take a look at your tool. But I'm going to give a little context as you pull that up. So I think it's helpful just to kind of call out what do we mean by video first, and what is kind of new in the video space that makes this kind of like something we can do now. So like what we're talking about is recording video content as the core asset because video contains visuals, it contains audio, and in the form of transcripts, it contains text. And so this has sort of been an unlock that's just kind of happened now that we have webcams and we have AI tools to do transcription, which used to be time consuming and expensive. So like now all of a sudden, right under our noses are these enhanced abilities or like unlocks really of things you can do. We always could do, but now we can do way more efficiently, cost effectively. And there's another angle that isn't often talked about. Like in the AI generated content world, we've got this flood of content. And so what the video content does is when we're having conversations like this is original thought leadership. We're giving our own insights, our opinions, things that AI does not do. AI summarizes, it pulls things together. But like, because we live in that world of summarization and blandness and sameness, this is such a differentiator. It's like having my thought leadership out there in a visual format that you can see and feel and hear, and then also gets used across those other channels to stand out. This is kind of like a real game changer that I don't think a lot of people have quite caught on because, as we've pointed out, video's always been here. So it's not a new shiny thing like AI. Everyone's focused on AI, but like, hey, this other unlock has just happened too. So anyway, that's just a little bit of
Yeah,
context in case people weren't getting why we're so jazzed about this workflow.
I know.
So,
We're totally nerding out on it. I love it.
well, I'm getting a little excited. So,
Yeah, yeah. So first I'll just get you just a little acquainted with what we're looking at. So this is what users see when they log in, kind of their home screen. Integrations are super important. So this is what these connections are what enables us to post content directly to our channels. Um, and to get data feeds in, like our Google Analytics, our social platforms, our email newsletter platform, and our website. So all of those integrations are key, and every deployment of ProMode is a custom deployment. So if folks have, different CMSs, different email platforms, like we can build those custom connections as needed. The other thing I want to show is our media gallery. So this is where we house all of our videos, images, graphics that we might want to use
yeah, and
in
just
our
just
content.
for context here, like if people don't get what we're looking at here, Heather and I met the other day and we did like some video recordings so we could use it on this tutorial walkthrough. So that's what you're looking at here in case you're getting confused about what we're seeing.
Yeah, yeah. So just to kind of further lend the conversation to the AI or the video first content, so we recorded in Riverside. I love Riverside. I think it's such a smart tool. The magic clips are my favorite because you can simply, click how long do you want that clip to be and who do you want it to focus on. So in this case, it was you or me. And so I just picked my, like six favorite clips from that conversation, downloaded them, threw them into Pro Mode, and now we can create content from these. So, so let's say I want to create one piece of content, um, one piece of content about a specific idea that we talked about. So I have typed some copy and I just pasted it into here. So this is not a prompt. So ProMode is a no prompt, no code platform. So I'm just kind of summarizing in my own words um, what we were talking about. I mentioned your name, that you focus on B2B strategy for companies who want to implement video. Um, and then this is very meta because I'm detailing exactly what we're doing right now. We're
Right.
using the clips from the podcast in Pro Mode to create content. And I'm talking about that in Pro Mode, which
Right.
is so weird.
Yeah.
It's kind
Not
of
get our
crazy.
wires crossed here. So
No,
at,
yeah, we're
at,
gonna
at
start
this
time
point,
traveling.
you have identified a clip that has some content of things you want to talk about. Are you already thinking about where this is going to go? Do you have like
Yeah,
the endpoint already in mind? And have you made those decisions yet? Or are you going to walk us through how that happens?
great question. So yeah, because this was kind of the meta experiment that we're doing right now, not so much the broader topic of video and marketing, which was most of our conversation
Yeah.
last week, right? Um, I really want to create a web page and an email newsletter about just this. And so that's what I'm doing here. So now I'll select my media and let's see. I think it was, mm, I think it was this one. Let's say it was that one.
Okay.
And then I'll say next. I want email and web. I could create social posts
Right.
as well, but for this, I just want email and web. Schedule the content. Let's say I want it for Thursday. Do you want to add another? Skip. And now we're generating content. So what we're seeing now is our content review board. This is where all new content is thrown, edited, judged, and then scheduled
Right.
for publish. And as things are scheduled, we can see them on a calendar, which is kind of a game changer. It seems very simple, but if you're in marketing, if you work with
Yeah.
scheduling tools, you're familiar that it is really difficult to even see all of your digital content in one calendar.
Mhm.
They're usually quite siloed. So we like that, folks can see what's happening in email and web
Mhm.
and social all in one view.
So I want to ask real quick before we get too deep further. When you scheduled content, you said the word content, but I wasn't clear at that point. What types of content is this going to be? Is this always going to be the content that you selected, the video, or are we also starting to repurpose in this process, maybe to text or transcript?
Yep. So let's see if okay. So here is a blog, and this is HTML code right here.
Hmm.
Once this is published, it will appear as the video that we added.
Interesting.
So build a video first content pipeline with ProMode, and then here is all of our copy.
Okay, so this is AI generated copy based on the conversation that we had, the transcripts essentially. It's using that as the prompt or the fuel to create a text-based which is a text-based post, which is not a verbatim transcript of what we recorded. This is an AI structured logical
Yes,
article.
kind of. This is not really based on the transcript. It's based on that kind of brain dump that I threw
Hmm. Okay.
into ProMode, but even more so, it's based on our database, which is right here, our fingerprint profile. So every ProMode user is given this database, and that's made up of a full scrape of their website, a
Hmm.
public web scrape of their brand, and then any supplemental documents they want to add to that database. So strategy docs, um, spec sheets, product specs, sales sheets, anything kind of ancillary to their brand that they want to add goes in there. And then this becomes the source of truth from which all copy flows.
Okay.
So, and that ensures that everything's accurate, everything's on brand. And then I'm giving it insight onto what that video was about with that little paragraph that I
Okay.
added. But then it's all bolstered in our brand. Like, how does ProMode feel about video, feel about B2B marketing? And then those thoughts are woven into the content.
So, are there things in this blog post that we can look and see are from the video clip that you're pulling from? Are there quotes or any other telltale, I don't know, source threads that we can trace back to that video clip that we know that that was the source ingredient?
Well, so the video will publish in like once it's
Right.
published. But for now, this is HTML code, and so this is how it appears. But probably better to look at some social and email content. Let's see. Okay, let's move on to our next exercise because I think it'll become even cooler.
Okay.
Let's build an overlay. So an overlay is kind of like a strategy. So it's additional thoughts and focus that we want to apply on the brand as a whole to create a whole bunch of content. So what we just did was a status update to create one or two pieces of content, very focused
Mm-hmm.
about one thing. But this is going to be more like a campaign.
So I'm gonna make a suggestion here. We're almost at 15 minutes, and this is for the
Okay.
LinkedIn crowd, so we don't want to go over. We want to make sure you get this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna tease in our next episode. Heather's gonna walk us through this next step of how to do an overlay. So if you want to see this, you're gonna have to watch the next video.